Today we are talking about unreliable narrators, what they are, who are some examples, why they are used, and how they can help us to understand the world around us. If you are new here, my name is Ryan David Ginsburg. I am an author, and on this channel we talk about books and how they can help to put current events into perspective. First, let's start by looking at the definition of an unreliable narrator. An unreliable narrator is a storyteller whose story cannot be fully trusted. Sometimes an unreliable narrator consciously withholds information from the reader or seeks to mislead. Other times a narrator's unreliability is beyond their control. No matter the motivation, an unreliable narrator subverts our expectation that what we're reading is to be believed, and as a result, tests our assumptions about believability as a whole. There are many famous examples of unreliable narrators in literature. There is Holden Caulfield in The Catcher of the Rye, Amy Dunn in Gone Girl, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, and many others. And there are many reasons why unreliable narrators are used. In the case of somebody like Holden Caulfield, he is not deliberately an unreliable narrator. He is just young, emotional, and ignorant. And though this sort of storytelling may make it more difficult to understand the reality of the story, it does help us to get into the mind of somebody so young and immature. While in the case of somebody like Amy Dunn in Gone Girl, she is deliberately lying to the audience. She is being unreliable because she wants to manipulate the reader into feeling sorry for her. She wants them to believe that she is actually the victim of an abuse that never happened. And she wants you to believe that her husband was capable of murdering her. And if her manipulation is successful, not only will she get to see her husband be punished, but she will be able to live her life completely carefree. And then we have somebody like Patrick Bateman who is completely mentally ill. And so when he portrays himself as totally sane or totally reasonable, he is not doing it in the same way as Amy Dunn to try to mislead the audience. He is doing it because he actually believes that he is sane and he is reasonable. And so while we feel like we were being lied to about who this character was, there was not necessarily intent behind it. These are just a few examples of how an unreliable narrator can be used. But the reason it is important to have stories with these unreliable narrators is because in the real world we often have unreliable narrators. For example, there was recently an interview between US officials and Ghislaine Maxwell. That interview was released, and in it she said, "I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way." And in response to his close friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, she said, "I don't think they were close friends." Now, if people simply assume that everybody was a reliable narrator, that everybody told the truth, they would likely conclude that Trump and Epstein had nothing to do with each other, that Trump was not really on the Epstein list, that Trump didn't knowingly participate in a human trafficking ring. But that would be a foolish conclusion to draw from this interview, because Ghislaine Maxwell is what we call an unreliable narrator.